Hello YouTube, my name's Nero, and today we have some Battlefield Hardline beta footage. Now keep in mind the beta itself is actually over, and that's sad. It's sad. I'm definitely looking forward to the game when it actually does its full release. But what we got here is some Battlefield Hardline beta footage actually recorded when the beta was actually live. And of course we're playing a bit of Conquest Large here on the map Dust Bowl. And I'm using the Scout Elite Sniper Rifle. It's a full gameplay. There's no cuts, no edits, nothing like that. It's just a full-fledged gameplay because Dear Nero is usually a very long video. So we're going to have a very long gameplay in here because keep in mind Conquest Large matches usually last roughly 20 minutes or so. So I figured we would show this entire gameplay because one, I'm using a sniper. Two, I do pretty well. I'm scout sniping the entire match. I get a pretty good score, and I think I hit some pretty good shots throughout this. Hopefully you guys will sit back, relax, and enjoy. And I thought it was a fun gameplay that would work out well for this week's episode of Dear Nero, which of course is the weekly series here on my channel where subscribers sent me in fan mail and or fan questions. And I do have to go ahead and answer them. We have a nice little list of questions here, and without further ado, let's just go and hop right into them so we can get them all done in a timely manner and not keep you guys here for 2 hours as I ramble on with all these questions. So the first one, he's going to write, Dear Nero, I was wondering what network I should partner with. The networks I've heard are good are Machinima and Fullscreen. It would be cool if you give me some advice for this. Thanks. Ghost619 from California. So this is actually the COD Ghost619, who you guys may remember from episodes of DNA Saturday as well as Chem Strike Saturday last year. He's got himself quite a little YouTube channel there. Mr. Ghost619, what networks do you partner with? So the networks I am aware of that are good. These are networks I've either been a part of or my friends have been a part of are Machinima and Fullscreen, just like you've said in the video. The key that a lot of people kind of miss, the thing that people always end up kind of screwing up on when they partner their channels, they're like, hey, I have 100 subscribers. I'm going to get a partnership with whoever decides to give me one. And there's a lot of networks out there. There's a lot of nameless networks out there who will just go ahead and like, yeah, we'll partner you up. And essentially what they do is they provide you absolutely no benefit aside from just going ahead and trying to take a percentage of the revenue you earn off of your videos, right? That's all they do. They don't have an ad sales team. They don't have anything like that. They don't have any deals with any networks to get you games early or anything like that. They don't have anything that will make it so you're protected. They don't have any kind of copyright protection for certain games or anything like that. They are just leeches. They're basically leech networks, which you really need to try to avoid. That's why when you're partnering with a network, you need to try and partner yourself with a network that is like a name brand network. You know, when I got partnered with Machinima, Machinima was the big dog. There was some other networks out there, but Machinima was by far the biggest and the most well-known, and every major Call of Duty YouTuber at the time was partnered with Machinima. Therefore, I tried to get partnered with Machinima. I ended up getting partnered with them and ended up working out for me pretty well. Fullscreen is another good example. I know my friend Wildcat is partnered with Fullscreen, and I know they do some good stuff over there, and I considered maybe going to Fullscreen at one point, but then I was like, no, Machinima's fine. I like Machinima. I don't really want to uproot or anything like that. I'm just going to stay with Machinima as long as possible, and I like Machinima. I like the guys that are at my contacts there. These good people. They're good people at Machinima, and of course, Fullscreen is just as good. And then there's some other networks out there you think of Maker. Maker is definitely a good network. It also might be part of Fullscreen. I get really confused. It's really blurry over there. Like Yoush and Fullscreen and Maker and Polaris and all those things I put together. Like I think they're all like either the same company somehow or like the same parent company but broken up into different things. It's really confusing over there. So I wish I could give you some advice as to which networks to try to apply to, but that's all I can really tell you is Machinima and Fullscreen are the ones I'm actually aware of. But aside from that, don't go with any of those little tiny no-name networks that send you messages on YouTube saying, hey, you'd be great for our network, you know, that kind of thing. Don't do any of that. Go with a name brand one. Go with ones that big YouTubers are part of because those are the ones that are actually good networks that you want to sign with. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, do you think the next Call of Duty will still be sold on last-gen systems? I was really looking forward to the next Treyarch game, but with all these new games coming out, they're only available on the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4, and I was wondering if they're still going to support the Xbox 360 or the PlayStation 3. Keep up the great work, Matt from Massachusetts. Matt, that's definitely an interesting question that I cannot wait to learn the answer to be perfectly honest, because I can't tell you. I really don't know. And I've always had this kind of conspiracy theory over the past few months. I'm wondering, you think about the fact that the support, right, for the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3 is horrible. It's awful in Advanced Warfare. They're getting their updates several weeks, up to like a month later than people on the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 are getting here with Advanced Warfare. It's really kind of bad. And Sledgehammer themselves, they've been blaming High Moon Studios, people that made the port. Like, oh, we make the update, then we give it to them. They have to port it over there, and they're the ones that are making it take so long. But what's interesting about that is they are just the perfect cop out, right? You think of High Moon Studios, they are the people that really have no name, right? They haven't really made anything any real games over the years. Like they're just basically a random company that do have a Twitter page that they haven't posted to for 2+ years. There's no way at all to get in contact with them, and no one's ever heard anything from these people. Is it possible that somehow there is a deal going on where they are intentionally giving the updates to Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 users and giving them the updates very, very late so that people are be more inclined to go ahead and try and purchase an Xbox One and purchase a PlayStation 4? Is that possible? Once again, conspiracy theory, tinfoil hat, that kind of idea, but still, I just thought it was interesting. It's weird that it takes them so freaking long to put out just simple updates like removing an X from a system hack. How hard is that to port? Really, how hard is that to do? I don't know anything about game development. I don't claim to. I know a little bit, I suppose, but I don't know anything about actually doing it or the actual process of doing these things and what you got to do going through Sony and going through Microsoft to get this stuff published. I really don't know about that. But at the same time, how hard is it to remove an X, especially when you've already done it on 2 platforms? You can't do it on the PlayStation 3 and on the 360. How hard is that, right? So I don't know. I would definitely be interested to see exactly what they're going to be doing with this. Of course, Advanced Warfare was developed, quote-unquote, next-gen first. It was designed to be optimized with next-gen technology. That, of course, was ported down to the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3, whereas with Call of Duty Ghosts, it was the opposite. It was developed for the 360 and the PS3, that it was ported up to the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4. So this was the first one that was developed next-gen first. I think it's entirely possible. I think it's something that people might want to consider. I think it's entirely possible that the next Treyarch game will be for the Xbox One and for the PlayStation 4 only. It'll be next-gen only. I think it's entirely possible. I don't think it's entirely likely, though. I think that'll probably be the last one, though. I feel as though the next Treyarch game will also be published for the 360 and PS3, but I don't feel as though any other Call of Duty games after that are going to be published that way, right? Does that make sense? I feel as though it's going to be developed the same way Advanced Warfare was, next-gen first. Then they're going to either do it in-house, where hopefully they do it in-house, or they'll get some other random studio like High Moon Studio to go ahead and port it down. But yeah, I feel as though next one's they're probably going to have it next game if I had to make a guess, an educated guess as to whether or not the 360 and PS3 are going to have the next Treyarch game. I think they're going to, but I think that's going to be the last Call of Duty game that's actually going to be put out for the 360 and for the PlayStation 3. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, do you agree or disagree with being able to earn elite weapons? I disagree because Advanced Warfare would be full of everyone running around using only the overpowered guns. Also, congrats on 300,000 subscribers. Raj from Alabama. So we're going all across the United States here, right? So we started out in California, right? Then we jumped all the way over to Massachusetts, clear the other side of the continent. Then we go down to Alabama, which is kind of like in the middle, well, in the southeast. But yeah, we're jumping all around America right now with these questions. So do I agree with the idea of being able to earn elite weapons? I do. I do think that earning elite weapons would be a good thing. You say you disagree, and I guess it's understandable because you think everybody's just going to be running around with the overpowered guns. And that's entirely possible, right? That's entirely possible that if they were to implement a system that would make it so we can earn these elite weapons, the idea that I had was perhaps implement some kind of a COD point system where you can do challenges and you can do contracts essentially like you could in the original Black Ops. And from there you can earn this form of currency, and with that form of currency you can purchase different kinds of weapon variants. That was the idea I had. We'll have to see what they actually do with the actual system that they're going to be putting in place, but we do know they're going to be putting a system in place sometime in the near future. If they were to make it so we can earn elite weapons, first and foremost, people are going to try and buy the really powerful guns, the guns that they really kind of want, right? We're going to see a lot of Ball 27 Obsidian Steeds. We're going to see a lot of Speakeasies from the get, right? People are going to be trying to get those very powerful guns, but at the exact same time, every weapon has that great variant or a couple great variants to it, right? You think of the MP11 Goliath, very powerful, very nice. You think of the EM1 Poner, very powerful, very nice. These are two of my favorite weapon variants I was fortunate enough to have already gotten. And you think of the fact that there's so many weapons in the game that also have very, very good variants. I would hope that, unless the Call of Duty community is just freaking long gone at this point, just full of elitist douches, I would hope that if we were able to earn elite weapons, that everybody from the get would be like, okay, let's get the best version of every gun, right? And then from that point, they could go ahead and they could use a lot more weapons. It might actually add to the weapon variety. I think that would be pretty cool. I think that would be pretty cool. Of course, worst case scenario is everybody's like, yay, now I have the Obsidian Seed and the Speakeasy. Let's just only use the same two guns forever. Which honestly, guys, honestly though, that is the reason Advanced Warfare has not been a whole lot of fun for me over the past month or so. It just, I cannot enjoy the game, and it sounds douchey. It sounds so douchey. So please try to bear with me here. But I'm in the top 1%. in terms of skill-based matchmaking, I'm in the top 1%. I'm the person up there with like a 1.8 to a 2.0 KD. My win-loss is pretty terrible, but that's because of the glitch, right? That's because of the glitch with the domination rounds and the search and destroy rounds I was making, so everybody's win-loss ratio to play those game modes is pretty awful. So my win-loss is kind of bad, but my score per minute and my KD are both pretty freaking great in Advanced Warfare. They're in the top 1%. And because of that, I get matched with other people in that top 1%, right? I get matched with these other people who also have those really high KDs, that really high score per minute, that kind of idea, right? And what's super annoying about it is not the fact that I'm facing good players. I can face good players all day and night. It doesn't bother me. But what bothers me is the fact that these quote-unquote good players that have these good stats, these people only use the Ball 27. They only use the ASM1. Every one of my lobbies is like that, and it's horrible. I keep these stats while using some of the crappiest guns in the game. My top weapon is the MP11. The EM1's not far behind. You know, I use lots of weapons. I use crappier weapons because I think they're fun and enjoyable to use. I'm starting to use AE4 a whole lot more, right? I like to use these weapons because they're fun, and I know that these other guns are the best guns in the game. I know the Ball 27 is the best gun in the game. I know the ASM1's also right up there with it. I know that, and because of that, I was like, why would I intentionally use this great gun that everyone else is already using? Where's the fun in that, right? At that point, it's just a wiener measuring contest of who can use the ASM1 better. You know, who can... That's not fun. I would rather dominate a whole lobby of ASM1 users using my MP11. That's how I have fun. But at the exact same time, that doesn't happen a whole lot because the MP11 is just so far behind, especially like the Speakeasy variant of the ASM1. It's really kind of hard, and that's the reason why it's like, you know what? Until they end up nerfing these guns, I'm just not going to be playing Advanced Warfare as much as I probably want to. You know, it's frustrating, it's aggravating, it's controller throwing worthy. Just every lobby's like that. It's super annoying, and I would hope that if we were able to earn these elite weapons, that people would actually move on from these different from the Speakeasies and the Obsidian Steeds of the world, and they would try out other stuff because they would instantly be able to have access to the best variant of that weapon. That is my hope with it. That's my hope. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, as of February 10th, the game Evolve has come out for PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. I was wondering if you ever planned on trying the game, or if it even seems like something you would like and or post anything on it, as to me, it seems pretty hyped in all three of the communities. Drunk Nugget from Pluto. So we go from Massachusetts we go from California to Massachusetts to Alabama to Massachusetts. Now we're going all the way up to Pluto, I suppose. But this guy named Drunk Nugget from Pluto. Evolve, yeah, so Evolve came out yesterday, and I haven't tried it out yet. From what I understand, it is kind of like Left 4 Dead in a way, with the exception that there's a giant evil monster that's actually controlled by a player, and that's supposed to be the interesting part of it. I think one of the things I'm concerned about, just like learning about the game, is how long is that replay value actually going to be there? How long can you actually play a game where you're basically surviving against a giant monster, and that giant monster being another person? After a while, you think you would be able to learn all the different mechanics that monster has, you know, that kind of idea. I was worried that maybe after a while we'd get kind of tired of it. It's like, well, okay, so he's the big squid monster. I know the 3 different attacks the squid monster has, so I know what to expect, you know, that kind of idea. So we'll have to see if it's got good replay value, but of course I don't really know much about the game, nor if I played it, so I don't want to throw any stones or anything like that. So we'll see. I'm definitely going to try it out. I just don't know when. It's not really at the top of my priority list, to be perfectly honest, as with most of the games that the entire community gets so hyped about. Most of the time the community gets all hyped up about a game, they're all jazzed up, and then everyone plays it for a week, and then they're done with it, and then there's some new game that gets all hyped and jazzed up, and Evolve, I'm worried, might be one of those games, but you know, I'll try it out. Just no real timetable as to when I'm going to try that out. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, I just built my first PC and it's pretty great. I was wondering what your specs are for your PC. Also, I want to get into recording gameplay for it. Can you tell me what program you use to record your PC stuff? P.S. I'm loving your Borderlands playthrough. Keep up the work with your videos. John from Georgia. So John is a fan of the Let's Play channel. That's a good man right there. If you guys know, over on Nero's Let's Plays, always a link in the description to it. I'm doing a playthrough of the original Borderlands. And Nero's Let's Plays is fun, right? Because a lot of Let's Play channels, they do... they play games that are popular, like Evolve, like we just talked about the last question, like, oh, Evolve's out, we gotta do Let's Play, so we gotta cash in on the new game, you know, that kind of idea. I don't do that. I don't post new games on my Let's Play channel. I only post the games I really want to play, you know, so the majority of stuff you're gonna find over there is Borderlands pre-sequel, Borderlands 2, Borderlands 1, Left 4 Dead, playing with my brother and some friends, you know, that kind of idea, playing Hearthstone. Yeah, I play games, Game Dev Tycoon. I play games I want to play, you know, over there. I don't ever play games like, well, this is the super popular game all the kids are going to want to watch, so I better post it up. I don't like that. The only time I ever did that, I tried that once. I'm like, okay, this is a very popular game. A lot of people are hyped about it. If I do a Let's Play of it, maybe I'll help out my channel. I'll try it out, right? I did Far Cry 3. I hated, spoiler, I hated Far Cry 3. I did not enjoy it at all. And it took me like 6 months to do that Let's Play because I could not be asked to actually continue playing it. I did not like it. And that was the last time I ended up doing a playthrough of a game that I just didn't want to already play. Yeah, I'm like, you know what? People probably want to watch this, so I'll post up. Maybe I'd like it. I didn't like it at all. So now whenever I post Let's Plays over there and stuff, it's always like Pokemon, which not anymore because Nintendo's a bunch of dicks. Pokemon stuff, and of course a bunch of Borderlands stuff, and Left 4 Dead stuff, and Minecraft stuff, and DayZ stuff, and stuff I want to play, right? Stuff I want to do. And that's why I like about Nero's Let's Plays. It's never been about like growing the channel, getting tons of views. It's about genuinely having fun playing video games. That's what Nero's Let's Plays is about. But yeah, I'm glad you're here. You're enjoying the Borderlands playthrough. My PC. You're wondering about the old PC here. So actually, let me open this up. I'm opening this up, and I'll be able to tell you some of the spectacular things about my PC because I don't know anything about it. All right, so my PC, it is part. I think it was mostly built at the manufacturer. I think we got it from Tiger Direct. Now keep in mind, I don't know anything about PCs. Not very good with them whatsoever. I know a little bit, but not a lot. And my PC was actually picked out for me by Wildcat. I'm sure you guys knew who Wildcat is. He picked out my PC for me. Looking at it, I have an Intel Core i7-3770 CPU at 3.4 GHz. Whatever that means. I have 8 gigabytes of RAM, whatever that means, and I have an NVIDIA GeForce GTX 660, which I know what that is. I actually picked that out and installed it myself. That's my graphics card, which is pretty out of date, and I should probably update it. It's starting to struggle as of recently, and then I'm thinking about updating that. I think my processor's okay, but I think I definitely would want to upgrade my graphics card here sometime in the near future. But at the same time, it's like, maybe I should just rebuild my whole PC. How cool would that be? But at the same time, I've only had this PC for a couple years. Why would I update it already? So, I don't know, man. I don't know. But that's basically my PC. Once again, I don't know much about it whatsoever. I don't know about the cooling. I don't know what kind of RAM I have. People with PCs, man, it's crazy how people know all this stuff. But I'm fortunate enough to have a lot of friends and that know a lot about PCs. I have Wildcat and I have Foxhound, and they're both pretty knowledgeable when it comes to putting together stuff. So if I were to actually be like, okay, I want a new graphics card and I want to be an upgrade from the 660. Of course, I know which ones are upgrades from the 660, but I would be like, which one would probably have the best CUDA cores and that kind of thing, or what would you guys recommend? You know, what you guys think would be good? And they would both be able to tell me. If I would actually want to put together a PC, I guarantee right now, maybe, I don't think he's at class right now. I guarantee right now, if I were to hop on Twitter and say, Wild Nerd, right now, can you like go to PC Part Picker and put together like a righteously awesome gaming and rendering PC? And I'm sure he would do that because a lot of computer people, they just like that. They like putting together these different kinds of builds and stuff like that and seeing how much money they can save while doing it and stuff like that. So I think he would do it if I ever wanted to build a new PC, but at the same time, I do really want to invest several $1,000s to do a brand new PC. I mean, I'm always at my PC, but at the same time, I would much rather have several $1,000s still sitting in my bank account. So yeah, so one day I'm going to upgrade my PC. Maybe I'll do it slowly. Maybe I'll do it all at once. I really don't know. But I guess that's the answer to your question. That's really what I have. I have an i7 something processor and a 660 graphics card. That's really all I know about it. And I also run dual monitors and stuff like that. And peripherals, I use a Razer Death Adder. I couldn't remember the name of it, and I have a Black Widow Ultimate keyboard, which is kind of funny because the only like real store around here that we have like buying stuff is like a Walmart, and they actually started selling the Black Widow Ultimate there, which is pretty nice. Pretty nice that you can get such awesome glowy keyboards at your local Walmart. It's pretty cool. Also, to answer your other question, I record PC stuff with XSplit. I've always just kind of used XSplit for everything. For apps, I don't like the file size. It's way too big for me. Way too big. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, I recently watched an old episode of Dear Nero and someone asked what shoes you wear, and you went on to answer that you wear skate shoes and how you used to skateboard. Last year, I bought a decent skateboard and I went to France with a friend and to practice, hoping that we would get better. However, as much as I practiced by myself and with friends, I'm still not very good. My questions for you are, were you any good? What age did you start? How did you practice and get better? What skateboard did you have? And do you have any tips for me? Love your channel. Keep up the great work. George from England. So we're going all the way over to England now. That's pretty awesome. All right, so I did skateboard. And people ask me, like, it's always random, the questions I get for Dear Nero. It's like, Nero, what kind of shoes do you wear? And it's like, that's a really weird question, but I guess DVSs, just black DVSs, because skateboard shoes are so ridiculously comfortable, and you slide them right in, right off. It's so great. I love skateboard shoes. I've worn them since I was like, gosh, 13 or 14, right? Somewhere in that age. I've always worn these things. They're so ridiculously comfortable. Every time they wear out, I get new ones. That's how I do it. Sorted. Love it. Use them all the time. Skateboarding. I did skateboard a lot, but keep in mind, my version of skateboarding was never really anything extreme. It's mostly street stuff, and it's mostly just my friends and I just like riding our skateboards around town and stuff like that. I was pretty good at manualing, which you guys don't know manualing. Picture a skateboard. Picture doing a wheelie, but on a skateboard, right? You lift up the front of your skateboard, only the back two wheels are on the ground, and you're riding as far as possible while doing that. That's called a manual. And I could do that. I could clear entire parking lots while doing that. I've always had really good balance, and so I was able to do that pretty well. Aside from that, I would do stair steps and stuff like that, which is basically doing an ollie down, a set of stairs, 5 steps. And we used to like go for it based upon how many steps there were. So if it was like a 6 set, that means there's 6 different steps on that stair set that you're going to be all laying down, which is always a whole lot of fun, it's super easy, to be perfectly honest. Like all the stuff I could do was always the really easy stuff, or at least it was easy to me. So manualing wasn't that hard for me. It was pretty simple. Doing all these down stair sets, that's also pretty simple, because it just involves having confidence and not being scared. If you can do a basic ollie, right, an ollie on a skateboard, if you can do that, you can do stair sets. Just keep in mind, you can't get scared while you're in the air and jump off your skateboard, because you will land it. You'll land it every time. It's not hard. If you have enough speed, you go to the end of the stair set, you ollie, and then you're in the air and you're going down the stair set. You're going to land. As long as you don't get scared and jump off your skateboard like midair, you're going to land and you're going to be fine, and you continue on about your business. And that's why I did it. It was always easy to me. In terms of like actual technical stuff, I was never very good at. I can never really do kick flips or heel flips or anything like that. I can never do anything of that nature. And basically, we would skateboard and stuff, but it always just kind of involved, doing stair sets, or maybe trying to do like some grinds on, we had rails and stuff like that we'd set up in alleys and stuff like that. We could do maybe some of those, but not really too much. Most of it involved just doing 50-50 grinds for as far as we could before we fell off our board or stuff like that. We just kind of messed around with it. We never went and tried to go pro or anything. It was just a fun way to pass the time, kind of like gaming is. We would do that with skateboarding, and that's what we ended up doing. Any tips I can give you is nothing really. Just if you're doing stair sets, just don't be scared. Don't be scared for the most part, and don't do anything that is kind of ridiculous from your very first try. Don't try and go like down like a like a 10 set like on your very first try. Start off small. Find a little a little stair set that's only got 2 or 3 steps on it, right? A little tiny one, right? You can find them in a lot of places throughout cities and towns and stuff. You find something like that, then ollie down that for your first couple tries, and you might not get your first try, but eventually you'll be able to get that. In terms of manualing, it's all about balance and being able to just adapt to the pavement as it goes. And yeah, and what skateboard I have, I had an Element. I couldn't remember what specific one it was. It was an Element skateboard that I ended up losing a long time ago. I don't even remember what happened to it, but it's been gone for a while now. But yeah, it's just basically just an Element skateboard, and keep in mind I haven't skateboarded in many years, but that's basically what we used to do. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, as the competitive Call of Duty scene gets larger and million-dollar tournaments are on the line, why does competitive play disinterest you? And this person did not leave his or her name. And to keep it short, because I've answered this a lot of times, the reason why I don't pay attention to competitive Call of Duty, I don't play competitive Call of Duty, I just have really no interest in it whatsoever, is because competitive Call of Duty isn't Call of Duty, and stop trying to pretend it is. Competitive Call of Duty is playing on like 2 or 3 maps, using 2 or 3 guns, playing with less people, with most of the things in the game either like just banned or not allowed. It's like, it's not even Call of Duty at that point. I would actually pay attention to Call of Duty if it went the route of League of Legends, it went the route of other competitive games where it is the exact same game. Competitive and regular, like public match, is the exact same thing in these games, but Call of Duty is not. Call of Duty is like, you know what, we're going to have this competitive game mode where basically we're only going to play a certain game modes on certain maps, and all the players are only going to use 1 or 2 guns, and most of the attachments and most of the perks and most of the kill streaks are all just completely banned, and nobody can use them. And we're all, oh, by the way, we're not going to have it 6-on-6 like everyone else plays. We're going to have it be 4-on-4. It's like, you're not playing Call of Duty at that point. Why don't you play actual Call of Duty? I would actually pay attention, right? I'm trying to think of the popular teams. I don't know much about the popular teams because I don't pay attention, but let's say you take the Optic team and you take the MB team, right? And you picture those two going up against each other. I would like to see them play Advanced Warfare against each other. I would like to see that on the map comeback, domination, public match rules, everything allowed, no respawn timer, actual Call of Duty. That's what I would like to see. That would be interesting. That would be fun to watch. None of these respawn delays. None of these only playing certain game modes on certain maps. None of these certain kill streaks, certain attachments, certain whatever's being banned. None of it. Allow everything to be played. Then I would give a shit. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, in prior videos of yours, you said that you hate Infinity Ward. Now let's say Infinity Ward calls you into their studio and say, make our game better. What would you do to make it better? Keep up the great work, Wyatt from Pennsylvania. So why did I tell you what I do? I tell you what I do. It'd be pretty simple to be perfectly honest. First thing I would do is I would fire the artist that does the colors. He's fired. He's gone. All right. I'm going to bring in somebody That's not that doesn't have like years upon years upon years of depression. It actually wants to add some color to the game, right? It's gonna be beautiful. The game's gonna be beautiful and colorful. Next, the kill streaks. Kill streaks are gonna be a lot like Modern Warfare 2. In fact, I'm gonna bring back a lot of the Modern Warfare 2 stuff. I'm gonna be bringing back payloads. I'm gonna be bringing back AC-130s. I'm bringing back chopper gunners. I'm bringing back tactical nukes. I'm bringing in some other stuff. I'm bringing in the 11 kill streak dogs. I'm bringing in Hellstorm missiles. I'm bringing in lightning strikes. I'm bringing in artilleries. I'm bringing in UAVs. I'm bringing in blackbirds. I'm bringing in counter UAVs. There's gonna be no counters to those UAVs, by the way. There's gonna be no ghost perk whatsoever, and there's gonna be no spawn protection in this game. That's gonna be able to make people so they can hide from my AC-130. Not gonna be happening in my game. Not gonna be happening in my game. It is basically what I would do to make this Infinity War game better. It is basically going to be like Modern Warfare 2, but on crack. Right? Everything fun about Modern Warfare 2 is going to be amplified. All the kill streaks are going to be ridiculous. Yes, the game is going to be all about kill streaks, but think about it this way. People say, like, oh, we can't have that because then the game's going to be all about kill streaks. What fun is that? Did you play Modern Warfare 2? Modern Warfare 2 was all about kill streaks, and it was a freaking blast. All right, it was awesome. Everybody loved it, man. It was a ton of fun. The game itself was horribly broken. It had so many glitches because there was no developer to back it up because the original Infinity War team left and they're trying to pick up the pieces and trying to hire new people and stuff. The game didn't get patched for ages. It didn't. And people still played it because it was fun. The kill streaks were fun. That was the whole fun of it. And of course, the guns were great. They looked great. The maps were all colorful and bright and beautiful. And the spawn system was fantastic. And that's what I would do. I would make it as much like Modern Warfare 2 as possible, but even then, I'd go a little bit more over the top of it. That's what I would do to make the next Infinity War game awesome. Next and final question, he's going to rate Dear Nero. I recently started playing Titanfall again, and man, it's addicting. I was wondering, what do you like about Titanfall, and what do you think Titanfall 2 can do to improve? Thanks, Nick from Newfoundland. So, oh man, Nick, I'm thinking about the same thing, right? I'm starting to get this bug. It's a little bit of an itch. It's kind of hard to scratch. Or it's like, I want to go back and play Titanfall for a little bit because the game is fun, right? Like, you go back to Titanfall, it's like, I don't feel as though it's a game that you can play a ton of it. I don't feel as though it's a game that you can put, 20 days of playtime into it. But it's one of those, let's pick up this game and let's go play it for a couple hours tonight and we'll have a whole lot of fun with it. Maybe we'll do it again next week. That kind of idea. It's just a fun game to play. It gives you an experience that you really can't get from other games. Just the wall running in general, I love the wall running. I love playing in my Titan, my big ogre Titan with my chain gun extended mag. Oh, it's fun. It's fun stuff playing that, right? Everyone loves that. It's a whole lot of fun doing that. And once again, just being able to run on walls. I like using the smart pistol, even though more often than not I die with it because I can't have time to lock on before they shoot me. But still, you get behind somebody and you get them with the old lock-on pistol. That's fun. I enjoy doing that. I enjoy the game itself. It's a very fun game. I want to go back and play it, to be perfectly honest. I think I'm going to do that soon. But Titanfall 2, what can Titanfall 2 do to improve? To be perfectly honest, there's only two things. I've talked about this several times, so I'll be quick with it. Two things they need to do to improve. One, add more weapons. What were they thinking adding like 9 primary weapons into the game and thinking that would suffice? That's ultimately what killed their game. That's the reason why there's not a lot of people playing it, is because there's nothing to play for. Also, regen requirements. Stupid. Why would you have regen requirements? They were dumb. They were awful. There was only like, once again, there's like 9 guns in the game. And only like 3 or 4 of them were good. And then you would have like this regen requirement where you need to run around and get headshots with one of the crappy guns. It's like, why? I'm being forced to use this awful weapon when everyone else is using the good guns. And it's awful and it's really annoying because there's only 9 guns in this game, right? Oh, it was so annoying having to do that. We're having to use crappy Titan weapons. We're having to do stupid little challenges like shooting people as they ejected from their Titan while they were in the air. Little random dumb challenges like that. It was an interesting concept. I can't blame them for trying. But please don't have that in Titanfall 2. And I'm super excited for Titanfall 2 if they ever actually make that. Like, I would love to see Titanfall 2 with those guns and more guns, no regen requirements, and just keeping the same fun feel. Maybe adding in a few more Titans, but at the same time, what Titans would you add? You have the big, slow, bulky Titan. You have the weak, fast Titan. Then you got the middle Titan. Like, what other Titans could there be? I really don't know, but I'm sure there will be more. And, yeah, I'm definitely excited for the idea of Titanfall 2. That definitely sounds like a whole lot of fun. But, yeah, I guess time's going to tell. We'll have to see if there's going to be a Titanfall 2 and what we can expect from it. Definitely interested to hear any and all things about that. But regardless, I hope you guys all enjoyed this week's episode of Dear Nero. And if you did, please be sure to leave a rating where you guys feel the video deserves. And of course, if you guys would like to submit your questions for next week's episode of Dear Nero, simply send me a personal message here on YouTube. It just involves going to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/NerosCinema, going to the About tab, and from there you'll find the send message button. Keep in mind when you're sending your message, please put Dear Nero at the beginning of your message. Therefore, when I'm going through all my messages next Wednesday for next week's episode, I can easily identify which ones are sent sent specifically for Dear Nero as compared to ones that may be sent for other things. So keep in mind, do that. Definitely very, very helpful. I hope you guys all enjoyed this week's episode of Dear Nero. And if you did, please be sure to leave a rating. Hope you guys all have a wonderful day.